All that's doing. Google. Hi everyone. I'm just using the avatar just for a few minutes. I've got a couple of things. I'm going to do a thing on Stephen Gillen tonight. Basically, who is Stephen Gillen? A lot of people have been asking me, if I know him. He was around during my time, but I think when he was around, I'd already left London. And so I never actually personally met him. I hope to in the future, but as of right now, I haven't. But I've just got a quick message for my new Spanish subscribers, because I made the Griselda Blanco video. I did one in English and the other one has Spanish subtitles that I basically had to type and put in myself. It was a nightmare, but so that they can able to understand what I was saying. So I've just got a quick message for them, because if they look at the video on their phone, the subtitles don't come up, by the way. You have to press the CC button, the closed caption button, and then the subtitles will come up. But I think if you watch it on TV, they automatically come up. So I just wanted to let them know that. So this is right quick. So, hola, mis nuevos suscriptores españoles. Hice el video de Griselda Blanco con subtítulos en español. Si lo mira en su teléfono, presiono el subtítulo cerrado bruto. Gracias. And tengo un bien note. Anyway, so let's get on with this. So who is Stephen Gillen? So this is Stephen Gillen, and he was one of the most dangerous criminals in the UK. His history is peppered with extreme violence, robberies, and addiction. It's kind of funny how all those things go hand in hand. The brutal, violent memoirs of one of UK's most prolific gangsters, who remarkably, he turned his life around at the age of 40, and his memoirs are set to be made into a Hollywood movie, $30 million Hollywood movie, in fact. Now, a little bit about his background. For 28 years, Stephen Gillen, he's now 49. He was brought up in Belfast, Ireland, at the height of the Troubles. My mother was from Dublin, Ireland, and he now lives in Windsor and was one of the most feared characters in the UK's criminal underworld, and describes recounting his own story or his own history as like galloping through hell on a horseback. Now, he's written a new book. Well, I don't know how new the book is. It's fairly recent, and it's called The Monkey Puzzle Tree. And it's basically a story of his life. It's a very good book. It documents unflinching detail the cat and mouse encounters with the police and the flying squad that saw Gillen cheat death 100 times before he was finally brought to justice for armed robbery in the early 90s. He was forced to serve almost 20 years as a Category A high security prisoner for his crimes. Gillen's dramatic and eerie redemption after a ghostly encounter with his late aunt saw him finally turn his back on his former life as a gang boss in London's East End. And the Monkey Puzzle Tree, it's a strange name, and people wonder about the name because his uncle in Ireland, they always have these little sayings and little anecdotes and little things that it's very quaint and nice, like you have to kiss the Blarney Stone and stuff like that. And they used to always tell us when we were kids little stories. But his uncle warned him, there was a tree in his backyard, and his uncle warned him never to speak in front of the tree, as it held all the secrets of the land, and that the tree was so loyal and silent that whoever heard it speak would lose the gift of speech forever. So what happened, he was in Ireland when the Troubles were on, and As a 7-year-old, he watched a young man beg for his mother as he bled to death in front of him after being shot in the street in Ireland. So he moved back to England after his Aunt Madge died, and he spent time in various foster families, was in and out of the care system, similar to myself. He had addiction problems, something he's clean of now, but from his early teens. His unsettled upbringing saw him lured into a life of crime. He said anger had been his fuel, rebellion his guide. He'd been forged with a gritted hardness from the inside out. And that was from early on. So as a Category A prisoner, Gillen told how he's moved around the country and would sometimes arrive where he had friends, and other times the jail would be full of your enemies. And I've told you about this before. What they used to do, they'd move people around just to be arseholes. They'd move them. They moved my ex-husband all over the freaking country. It was a nightmare trying to get from prison to prison to prison, which is why I went, basically have been to every prison in England, not as a prisoner, luckily for me, but, as a visitor. He said he even saw the prison service move people into serious circumstances on purpose. Like here in America, they put you in PC. There, they're not going to. They're going to put you in with whoever, and whatever happens. He said the bitter years of high security imprisonment had battered and clawed away his emotions and ripped and torn them like a thief in the night. He said his humanity had been stolen, and anger had been his fuel and rebellion his guide. Okay, so after hitting rock bottom while in segregation unit reserved for high-risk disruptive inmates, Gillen says he believes he was visited by the spirit of his late Aunt Madge, who helped bring him up as a child, and that the spiritual encounter offered a full stop on his life of crime as he vowed to let go of the grudges that had led him to gang violence. So reformed gang boss Gillen describes in his memoirs how he was incarcerated next door to Charles Bronson during one of his many stints in high security prison for 3 years. Now I'm going to do a show on Charles Bronson. This is Charles Bronson on the screen. This guy, oh my God. And this is Charlie when he was younger. He was a complete loon. A complete maniac. He didn't start as a maniac. He originally went to prison years ago for something quite, trivial, really. He might have had to do 2 or 3 years. Anyways, he got in so much trouble in the prison, fighting the guards, taking people hostage. He was doing all kinds of crap. And so he's been in there ever since. He's basically, he wasn't sentenced to life. But, I'm going to tell you about him. He's just really something else. This is a more recent photo of him, but he's actually, even though, he looks crazy and stuff, he's a really nice guy. He's a gentleman. He respects women. He doesn't like any talk, filthy talk. He would kill you if he knew, the way you lot carry on here, some of you. No, they just don't do that in England. He's very much a gentleman, right along. Steve Gillen's the same. Anyway, so, Bronson, Gillen affectionately calls him Charlie, was a neighbour while the pair were both in Category A at Wood Hills Prison. It's a close supervision unit. Anyway, Gillen maintains Bronson, who's now 67, so this is more recent, proceeded to cause havoc by taking fellow prisoners hostage, attacking the police officers, causing £500,000 worth of damage in a rooftop protests. And but he's quieting down over the years, and I think his goal now is to get Charlie out, and I think Charlie should get out. He's been in there for bloody years, and he didn't start off, it's not like he murdered someone and got life. he went in maybe for a robbery or a battery or whatever. And because he acted so bad, they kept attacking time on and time on and time on. And he's still bloody well in there, but it's time they let him out. And so, you know, Gillen says Charlie has a lot to give to society now. And I certainly, having known him and been through tough, challenging events with him, I was going through it as well. Know that there is a completely different side to Charlie that's very endearing and very caring. And that's true. Anyway, after receiving 17 years in prison, Stephen decided to use his time inside to turn his life around and has worked relentlessly to become a better person. And it worked, as Stephen is now a successful entrepreneur in the areas of business and life mastery, travels the world doing charity. He's a Sunhack International Peace Prize nominee, and he has interviewed countless celebrities, mobsters alike. That's how you've got to know him here. He's interviewed John A. Light. He's interviewed Sammy, I believe, Francis, all of them, and a lot of British mobsters, you know, he's interviewed. And in fact, Mob Rats Exposed makes me laugh because he takes him off really well. Like, John, is that right, John? Yeah, did you do that, John? That sounds so much like him. He has me rolling. But anyway, that's who Stephen Gillen is. Now, Stax recently had an interview with him. And so I'm going to play some of that interview so you can hear him speak for himself. Thank you, Stax. Stax gave me permission to use his video. So I'm going to put it on in just a second. So hang on. Let me get rid of this. And then we can start the can. So hi, everyone. Yeah. And so I'm going to put on the Steve Gillen video so you can see, you know, who he is. And then I'll come to the chat and you can ask me some questions. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. Share screen. Okay. All right, let's have a look. All right, so what's that? Share audio. Okay, hold on. So we'll do it like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, let's do it a little bit bigger, maybe. We can see. All right. So let me. On it. All right, I don't know what the hell's going on here. I think my computer's frozen. Okay. All right, so let's watch a little bit of this. Oh, my computer's taking its time. This is such a pain in the ass. I wouldn't consider buying any of them. Skip ad. Oh, come on. Well, hopefully we'll get there. It surely is taking its time. Well, while it's doing that, let me come to the... Okay. Well, maybe it's... All right, it looks like it's... Okay. Unmute it would help, wouldn't it? Okay.
So to chat with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today I got Stephen Gillen. How you doing, man?
Hi, Bill. How you doing? Big hello to everyone out there too.
Thank you so much for joining me. I seen you on a couple podcasts, and you have a really intriguing story, and I wanted to know more. You want to tell the people where you were born and raised?
I was born in England, Bill, but as a born baby, 6 months old, I was taken to Belfast. You know, this was back in the day when the war was really heavy there. I stayed there till I was 9, and I come back to London, East London, back to England. But of course, you know, I see a lot of traumas. I went through a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah, you saw an experience when you were 7, right? Saw some murders.
Look, you're talking about a very nasty war. All wasn't nasty. It was certainly nasty there. You're talking about when I was young, Bill. I didn't know. Of course, I was a baby in the pram. But sometimes guns and stuff like that would be put under my blankets to get through the checkpoints. Kind of life, you know, a lot of suspicion, a lot of murders over there. A lot of bad stuff going on. A lot of darkness.
What year was all this going on?
This is early 70s. Early 70s. I was born in 1971. So if you're looking at that period, the early 70s, up to the 80s. So this was early 70s. When I was 7, over there, I see someone murdered in front of me, shot, in a gun barrel. I had to watch that. I was hiding behind the edge, a young child. I had to watch, as he died in front of me. So I see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's really terrible. So would you have to move around a lot when you were with your family when the war was going on and all this confrontation?
It's kind of there. I mean, we started off in the slums there, Bill. We really did in the start. The newspapers and all this made a big thing about that because, I started there to where I am now. I mean, the houses that we was in them tenements was so bad that when we moved, they were so bad a few years after. I didn't know, still a young boy, but they knocked them down because they wasn't fit to live in. But after that, you kind of. War creates a lot of scarcity, a lot of hardships. There wasn't.
Oh, well, I guess it went out. Bloody hell. This is so annoying.
There wasn't. There's none of that stuff over there. It was just a lot of violence, a lot of bloodshed. So,
oh God! Honestly, I don't know what the hell.
They was hard times, and people would not really go out unless they had to, right?
Yeah. What were your ambitions back then when you were a kid? Do you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I think in them days I was too young, Bill, and to be honest, because of the way the world was outside the door, I wasn't really allowed out, so I was the kid who'd be upstairs looking out the window at some of the other kids who'd be allowed out, right, playing on the street, wishing that could be me, right?
Yeah. So when you started getting older, what kind of experiences did you have when you started to get older? And where did your family? What progression happened with your family?
Well, I moved. I was sent away from Belfast there. Age 9, my surrogate mother died over there. Who was my carer.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, well. She was a wonderful person, she was my moon and my stars. She was everything. But, it's worth mentioning because it was a big turning point in my life, obviously. But, so the men of the family, they thought, because of everything, I should go back to England. So I was sent back to England and East London. So, I was a typical child, 9-year-old child with a little case on the boat, right, going across the water. Like an immigrant.
That's like a new world to you. You're like, who are they sending you to go stay with at that time?
They were sending me over to my mother, because my mother, she had stayed in England to try and build some kind of a life for us.
So what happened once you got there? Were you a mischievous kid?
Yeah, I mean, the trouble started then. East London, of course. I was right in the middle of that. It's a very fast place, but it's nothing like a war zone where they're shooting it out morning, noon, and night, street corners, right? Martial law. It's a different world. So I'd always do more, I'd always be more. Of course, I was a bit different. I'd get into a lot of fights. But I had a lot of friends, and I was left to fend for myself, really, in many ways, because I become a lot of trouble. This was the start. I was a very angry young man.
How would you make money in your early days? How would you support yourself? Like once you became like a teenager and all that, growing up.
Well, the story is, look, the middle bit is I was the feral kid out in the street, out all hours of the night then, right? Street, right? And I had to survive. I created my own family. I had to go through a lot of children's homes, foster parents, of course, where I never stayed at. I'd always run away and this kind of stuff. So I progressed from street crime, petty crime, really, really quickly into organized crime, guns and heavy stuff and violence. I mean, I was there when I was about 15, 16.
That you could think of that happened around that time that you can explain to me?
Oh, there was many. I was sent away when I was 14. That was the first time I was sent away because I was.
Okay, so I muted the mic. While I muted it, can you still hear the video? Can someone let me know? I muted the mic on StreamYard. Can you still hear the video?
So bad, and then, I was sent away for a stabbing when I was 16, GBH, this kind of stuff. And,
what led you to do the stabbing? Like what led you to go that route?
I was, I was already kind of shaped in a way. I was already shaped as a very angry kind of young man who had a lot of trauma, who was by himself, who,
Okay, so I'm going to try and see if I can get it back up. This is so annoying. I don't know why it does this at night, but it just seems to. Let's see if we can get it back up. If that's basically who Stephen Gillen is. I wanted you to see a little bit more of him, but it keeps pissing around. Hang on, so let's see. Skip ad. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens. Yeah, my internet's working. I don't know why it's doing this, but it's really aggravating. Maybe a lot of people are on YouTube or something. But we'll try. Okay, come on.
To go that route.
I was already kind of shaped in a way. I was already shaped as a very angry, kind of young man. A lot of trauma. Had a lot of trauma. Who was by himself. Who, you know.
So let's forget that. Maybe the other day, just not play. Everything's like free. We have to.
DK Metcalf, you were completion.
Control D. One more shot. If it doesn't, I'm getting rid of it. We'll just have to do it another day. Just doesn't seem to want to cooperate. Trying to like freaking, it won't. Okay.
You know, had been groomed by all the older ones. The ones I was around, it was really prominent families. Criminal families. The day, right? So I was a great target for that. And, you know, I went into that life really easy. This was my surrogate family. So these was the learnings that I had and the role models that I had. And of course, I had this thing in me, but it has to be said. I had the anger.
All right. I
had the madness in me. I'd always do more than anyone else. Be gamer. But it has to be said that was me in the old days, you know, and this continued to paint the picture.
Yeah, you would go a little extra than everyone else would. Yeah. So going to being locked up and sent away, was that like a rite passage? I know because in the US, when I was a kid, I was hanging around gang members, and once I went to prison, it was kind of like college for criminals. You know, I had more ways on how to act. I learned on what to do, and
it has to be said. I mean, I can remember as a young kid, you know, the first time you go there, obviously I was a child when I went there, 14. But you get through that. You know, you made a tough stuff. I was in them days. You find your way through that. So you realize there's no more lines because you've kind of done that, right? It is a university crime. You know, so you know, it's unhelpful. You know, for teenagers, children to go through that and be influenced further
when they're still learning.
You know, and a lot of the guys even there where we was really young kids, really skinny kids, would go on to be really notorious names of the day here. You know, but we started there, Bill.
Do you remember some of the notorious names from back then when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, there was a few. I mean, there were some of the guys there from the Tottenham riots just later on.
You know, and there were some policemen.
You know, and there were some policemen got killed and other names. And you know, armed robbers, really, you know, top echelon armed robbers, and other mobsters, and other
heads of criminal gangs.
Other heads of criminal gangs that would be heads of very, very prominent criminal gangs there.
Skinny kids,
you know, we was there as skinny kids, really, Billy, it has to be said.
So, once you went away, did it get a little more organized? And once you got out back onto the street?
I kind of, you know, I used to box a little as well when I was young. I was a really fit one who was fighting all the time. You know, unfortunately, not just like, you know, with other gangs and other inmates and that sort of stuff. The officers so much as well. I mean, I was terrible in them days. I really wouldn't take it with no one. I wouldn't advise other people to do this. But the truth is, I found it very hard to cope with myself, Bill.
Just the way
I responded to the world, really. In many ways, it was a defense mechanism. And I knew
a whole video because it has been second. My well, it might have done. Just feels like it's frozen. I think it's frozen. I think I'm going to have to come back out. Oh, well, maybe not. Hold up. Let's start the cam. Okay, let's start cam. Let's see if that works. Okay, so, excuse me. Yeah, that video didn't go as well as I would have hoped because I wanted him to talk a little bit more, you know, about being in London. It's very similar to here, really. It's just, you know, and they go by the same rules. They've got the same, you know, codes and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going to go to the chat and okay. Yeah, he was actually you know, he had family in Ireland. So when he was little, he was sent to his auntie in Ireland till he was 7. And then, but it was at the height of the Troubles, you know, with the Catholics and Protestants fighting. And he saw someone die in the street because it was like the Wild West in Belfast. He was, and so when his Aunt Madge died, then she sent him back to London. So he was essentially raised in London, but his roots are actually Irish. And he was really feared, you know, back in the day. So let's see. Hi, Florida Attorney. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Good. Wrong number. Yeah, I'm going back on the chat. I'm like way behind. Paul Castellano, formerly Calagies. Hi, how are you? You finally called alive, huh? Yo, wrong number. Brought to my attention, FBS is a coprohasia. That's one of the bonding elements between him and dim-witted Shanna. Yeah, well, yeah, he did. He's interviewed a lot of people over here. Yeah, because he started off, I mean, basically he does what kind of like Vlad, you know, he's got a big, huge company now, you know, and he's kind of like Vlad in England, and now he kind of branched out to American mobsters, and he sees, you know, he's interviewed John A-Light several times. In fact, Mob Rats makes me laugh, you know. John, did you see that, John? He sounds just like him. You know, but I do wonder if he realizes what's going on here, you know, when he does that. I'm sure he must. I mean, it don't make no sense if he doesn't, you know. Gillen is a big fan of Raymundi, the last of the real gangsters. Has he interviewed him? Well, he may do. He may well do. I mean, who knows? But he's pretty big in England as far as, you know, like a podcaster type thing. And he's actually a real nice, sweet guy, seems to be, you know. Now, Bronson is another matter, you know. But the one thing about Bronson, he'll fight men in a minute, you know, but he's very, very calm and soft around women. He really is. When he's out of the nick, you know, he's been in prison, I don't know how long. I think they let him out for a little while. He's just one of these people that, you know, he gets in fights. He can't stop, you know, he really can't. FBS can beat Bronson's ass, ask him. I highly doubt that. Charles Bronson is insane. In fact, his name, he got his name from, he liked that movie. What was that movie with Charles Bronson in? Where he was like a vigilante. Death Wish. Yeah. After he saw Death Wish, then he changed his name to Charlie Bronson. In fact, I want to say now he's changed his name to something else, but I can't remember offhand exactly what that is, but he has changed his name since. So, Kokomo Slim, Phil Lynott passed away January 4th, hosted a glass of Jameson. Oh, yes. Yeah. Jimmy Poe, everybody gets hold if you hang around. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Love Phil, awesome. BK Salcook. Hello, everyone. Hi, BK. Hello, Mr. Wolf. That looks like a photo of Uncle Badlush in the background. No, actually, it's a photo. I think his name's John. What's his name? John something or another. He was Fredo in The Godfather. Yeah. It's just, you can't really tell it's him because, you know, this is a later photo when he was, you know, it's just a regular picture of him. But, you know, he was thinner in The Godfather, I think. But, yeah. So we keep that there. Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, my God. Can you believe it, Dave? You know, I was so overwhelmed, you know, and I hadn't had a speech ready. And I forgot so many people that have helped me. You know, I wanted to thank my mother for giving birth to me. I wanted to, you know, thank America, thank the, you know, immigration for letting me emigrate. You know, there were so many people I wanted to thank, and I completely forgot. So I'm sorry if I forgot anybody that helped me get to this stardom that I have now. So, yes, thank you, you know, MTR for my MobiTube award. I love it. In fact, I'm going to get, I got it on my camera, so I'm going to get a poster made and put it in a frame. Sure am. In fact, wouldn't be a bad idea to do those every year, like the Razzies, you know, or maybe have like a yearly mob to meet up. That would be interesting. I think everybody had to be ending up fighting, don't you? Oh, that was from earlier. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I wanted to see a little bit more of him, but you know, that video wasn't very well. But you know, Stax did a good interview with him. He really did. And thank you, Stax, for letting me use your video. I did ask. Oh yeah, okay. All right, so let's see. Could be the YouTube site itself. Yeah, I think it is. Because as soon as I turned that on, while that was on, it wouldn't let me do anything on StreamYard. As soon as I've taken it off, now StreamYard's good. So I think it's the YouTube thing itself. But maybe I can find some, you know, I can play it another day. Or actually, sub and subscribe to Stax, go to his channel, and you can watch the video straight out. That's a good idea. I didn't think of that. How crazy am I? yeah, just go and watch it on Stack's channel. He's got a really, really interesting story. So, okay. Yeah. Well, it's been all right. I think it's YouTube. Yeah, that's right. He is. This guy, yeah, he was. He was in prison with Charlie Bronson. He was with him for like 3 years. Yeah. Charlie Bronson's still in there. He's trying to get him out. He's trying to get out. And it's like, my God, how long are they going to keep this man in there? But this is, this particular subject, I'm going to bring up a few people that they've done this to, and what they tend to do in England, they keep you forever, or if you're unmanageable or, you fight a lot or whatever it is, they'll put you in a mental hospital for the criminally insane. And you can be kept there till, dick docs, essentially. And that's what they've done to Charlie Bronson. You have idea what you're doing. I don't know. Hello, Brooklyn guy, Vinny. How are you doing? I hope you're feeling better. Joe Borsellino. Go play with Tony Pizza. Jesse. Yeah, oh, yes. This is Stack's channel. Subscribe. Go look at it. And, you can watch the video there, actually. Because it's really interesting. It was a good video. Cousin Vinny. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Vinny. Yeah, it's going to be rough for a little bit, but you'll start feeling better. You really will. So, anyone got any questions for me? I hear, I will say somebody tried to strike my channel, one of my videos, but, YouTube didn't. They just said what had happened was, I guess when you make the video, there's an age restriction. It's not that I swore in the video or anything like that. And so what they basically did, they changed the age. I guess I had said it was made for kids, and they did it 18 and over, something like that. So that's what happened there. So they let me have it anyway. New Beginnings, thank you, New Beginnings. She shared it, and thanks, New Beginnings. I appreciate it. Glad you're feeling better, Vinny. Yeah, good. Okay, yeah. So, that's basically been my week. So next, when probably Friday, we'll be doing a show. It's going to be about something different. And try and like move forward and do other stuff. Shit's just getting old, isn't it? I can't even be asked, to be honest. I really can't. I just want to, and tell you some stories about, some of the people that I hung with back in the day. Roy Shaw was one of them. Well, I didn't hang with him, but, I met him several times. And he was a real sweet guy, and they really messed with him. In England, we have a saying, the law is an ass. And in some cases, it really, really is, So Jesse says that apparently FBS isn't a fan of people doing impersonations and try to, yeah, that's right. I thought he would like doing impersonations because he impersonates people all the time. I thought he would love it. But anyway, hello, American Me Di Bella. Buonanotte. Yeah, so that's about it for me. I'll be back here soon. We're going to be doing another show, and possibly one over the weekend. We're just going to start doing some different stuff, and hopefully interesting stuff that you can enjoy, Anyway, take care, everyone. Have a good night. Good to see you all. And I'll see you very, very soon.